Hello, hello. Chloe, Thistle and Verse here. Just gonna kind of wait a little bit to see if more people show up. I'm gonna be very low energy on this stream because it's Friday and work happened and I'm kind of sleepy already. Somehow. Hey Britt. Thank you. Yeah. Um I didn't like post this right when I hit 700 subscribers. So I've been like at like 750 or something for a little bit. But so yeah, it didn't just like rapidly skyrocket. That was just 'cause I was kind of late putting it up. But yeah, I am almost 800. It's exciting. Probably just gonna wait until like 8:02 and then I'll find an online timer and start. I actually I feel like I'm always like, oh yeah, these streams are so simple. And then I get on and then I have like a bajillion questions. And like my question now is like, does everyone use the same timer because of copyright issues? Like, I don't have an issue taking this video down after the fact, but I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't just grab a random timer off the interwebs to display on the screen. Maybe I should use the same one as everyone else because they're probably using it for a reason. Wow, 8:02 already. Huh, look at that. Okay. So, actually wait. Sorry, this is me being frazzled and poorly prepared. So, oh, hey Marae, hey T, thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, just thanks. So I forgot that I originally said I was going to do this at like 600 subscribers. And so I had solicited questions on Twitter like well in advance. And then I didn't know how StreamYard worked, so I thought I set up a stream, but I didn't. And so I said there are technical difficulties and I can't get on. And so I I had the questions saved up, but I never actually answered them. And I'm trying to find them in my folder now. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. So then I'll probably just find one on YouTube when we get to the sprints. Yeah, because I found some fun classroom timers, but they're probably more distracting than helpful. It's like, oh, you can like set off a timer to set off a stick of dynamite. I'm like, I love that idea. But that's probably not conducive to people reading. Hi Floral, thank you. Do I want to wait like one more minute for people to show up because people keep popping in? Um, no, I think I'll just start with the questions. So these questions are from a while ago, like I said, and who was it? So I'm gonna go with like the ones that people actually asked me, and then I just kind of came up with two random ones that I thought I would share. So the first one was asked me by Litnana. Hey Erica. Oh, hey Harley. I mean, yeah, you can DM me one if you want. I have some. Um, hey Kay. Like I also had I originally called it like a story time because I had written down like random. Oh, I mean, you can still go, Harley. You can still do your live. Um, but yeah, my options were that like in case I was like, oh, I still feel like talking, but I'm out of questions. I like had like pick a story options where like I have like random, mildly amusing anecdotes from my life, and you, the audience, would get to pick which story I told. So that's an option if this goes like really, really long. Which we'll see how long I can hold down a live stream on my own. Oh, I'm tired too, and I don't know why. I feel like I do absolutely nothing at work, and still I feel like I'm so tired every day. mm, mm, I'm not tired every day, that's a lie. I'm like, "I have so much time, I did nothing, I should do more," and so I stay up till, like, 2 in the morning and make myself tired. Oh, oops, sorry. Thanks, Shauna. Okay, so I'll just do one of the questions I was asked. So, this was one from Nana. She asked, "If you could sit down and talk to any author, who would you talk to?" And I think I would pick N.K. Jemisin because there was a Goodreads, like, poll going around where, like, you got to ask her a question, and I completely flubbed it. Like, I asked such a boring question. Kind of disappointed. I'm very disappointed in myself. I asked, like, it was around when City We Became got out, and I asked if I don't know, like if something had changed that she had decided to write like a fantasy novel slash sci-fi novel set in our world, as opposed to like a completely new world, because that's all her other novels were. Yes, yeah, it is so hard to read other fantasy after, like, binging on N.K. Jemisin, but that was my question, and, like, her answer was that, um what was her answer? Her answer was that, like, her novels aren't really indicative of what she likes to write about. Um, she said her short stories are, like, more similar to, like, everything that she's thinking about when she's writing, and in her short story collection, she did have, like, a lot of real world stuff. So I was like, "That feels like a waste of a question." Like, I feel like I'm also the only one who's really hung up on the fact that all of her other novels are in, like, completely new worlds. Well, or at least worlds based in ours that are super different from ours. And then City We Became is just, like, New York with, tentacles. Um and I don't know what I would ask her. Um, like, I feel like if I was to interview her, I feel like she gets asked a lot about all, like, the serious stuff in her writing, and I'm really interested in how she writes her relationships and basically, like, the steamy scenes and, like, the sex scenes. Um, yeah, Emma Ray has a YouTube. It is New York with tentacles. It's New York with tentacles, New York with, city avatars in it. Um, because I don't know if she gets asked about, like, the fluffy aspects of her writing as much, and so I think that would be interesting to hear her talk about, and I don't know, it could just have been like, the stuff I was reading, but it was just, like, such a, like, change from, like, the other adult novels I'd been reading that had scenes. Ooh, that would be interesting. I don't know what I think her first fandom is, because she knows that people write her fic but, like, write fic in, her worlds. I don't know, I feel like nerds of a certain age, everyone's, like, either Star Wars or a Trekkie. I feel like I feel like I would guess that maybe she was a Trekkie. Snacks? I mean, I feel like that's a solid question, because then you can also get snack recommendations. And then I don't know what else I would ask her. That's just, like, something I think about, because I don't know if she's talked about it at length, because people are very much more about, like, the themes and stuff in the work. But it just was, like, so different, and I don't know if that's just because I was reading people who are not I'm sorry, I don't know what age range it is that grew up on Star Trek, but I just feel like that's a thing where, like, people my age don't really watch Star Trek like that, or at least not as much, and it seems like you talk to, like, nerds in, like, like, maybe mid-30s or so, and then it seems like Star Trek is, like, huge, like, especially for, like, Black nerds because of, Lieutenant Uhura. Thanks, Kiki. But, you think anime? Hmm, I have to that's interesting because I feel like a lot more people are talking about how animes influence their writing, like, I know Tochi Onyebuchi's talked about it a little bit. I feel like P. Djeli Clark might have made an anime joke at one point in the interview. Because I don't think I've heard her mention it that much, but I also haven't, like, sat down and, like, trawled through her interviews, you know? So much. I feel like she'd be the Toonami anime type if I had to guess. Damn, maybe everyone just isn't Trekkie except for me. 'Cause, like, that wasn't really a thing on my radar at all. Like, I had a friend who liked Star Trek, and, like, she tried to get me to watch it, and I was so bored. Um, like, what was it? I only watched 1 episode. It's about the Gorn, and I saw the Gorn, and I decided that I didn't need to watch any more Star Trek because I wasn't feeling it. She has? Ooh, I'll have to check out her blog. That's a good point. I should go straight to the source. Um, that's so weird. I don't get Twilight vibes from her writing, like, in the like, in the slightest. Oh, that is I feel like that was, someone trying to be shady. I don't know how you could, like, earnestly make the Twilight comparison. Like, writing aside, I feel like in the Inheritance trilogy, at least, I thought that Nahadoth might actually kill somebody, and I never thought Edward was gonna kill anybody. He just seemed like, didn't seem like he was the type. Okay. See, maybe I'm just out of the loop. Maybe Star Trek is a multi-generational affair, and I'm just missing out. Um, like, I know who Picard is, but I didn't know that Whoopi was on the show. Uh, that's it? For why people saw Twilight? Yeah, I really, really, really don't see it. Like maybe it's because the bed was destroyed, but I feel like if you're gonna read like fantasy smut, I feel like that would be a lot more common. I just assume that I haven't seen it and that's a common thing. He was. He was a mess. He was a problem. I can't. I'm fake. I'm a fake nerd. I didn't watch Star Trek. I told you, I just watched the Gorn episode. Um, I watched, what was it, the parody movie about it with whoever played Snape. Yeah, I'm real bad at names. I'm real bad at everything. I didn't know she was on. I feel like I'm gonna hear from you in the group chat, Erica. I feel like you're gonna rat me out. You and Harley are gonna rat me out, and then I'm gonna hear it from Ashley and other people too. um, I did it. I just watched the Gorn. I wasn't feeling the Gorn, and I gave up. Oh, was it Alan Rickman? I feel bad. I feel like I should know his name, but I don't keep up with actors like that. So, who else was it? Oh, Nori had a question. If I could spend a day with any fictional character, who would it be? Yeah, I think it was Alan Rickman. Oh, the Gorn was like it was from when William Shatner, I think, was in it. And it was like this weird, it was basically they didn't have good special effects, just like a human in like this fake lizard suit. And I think it had red eyes, and William Shatner is trapped on a planet with it, and he has like throws a rock at it and tries to kill it, and it does like absolutely nothing. And that's all I remember about the Gorn and Star Trek. Um, if I could spend a day with any fictional character, damn, it's bad because I've had this question for like, see. I had good reason. No, the special effects back then were so bad. Like, I used to really love the Hulk, and I remember watching, like, the original Hulk TV series, and it was literally just a guy in, like, a bad muscle suit, like, with, like, very patchy green, skin paint on, and, like, a very bad, like, bad for Party City type wig, and it was a mess, and shout out to the sci-fi fans who grew up during the '80s. So slim pickings in terms of what was on TV, in my humble opinion. uh, yeah, no. I could never. Like, I struggle even just watching like black and white movies. Oh, it was so weird. I got into it as a kid, and like my library only had so many VHS tapes, so I would have like probably watched more if my library had more, but like the technology just wasn't there, and their budgets probably weren't great. I kind of want to see Godzilla because I hear it's like silly, like I don't know. And I've seen like the little I don't know if it was a TikTok, but of the person like acting out like, oh, like on the telephone lines and Godzilla is frying. Like I feel like it's fun to watch, but like I don't know. In the ways that people like take stuff super serious now, I feel like it'd be hard if you're like a nerd who wanted something to take super serious. Or I don't know, maybe people's imaginations are just better than mine and they're less judgy than me. So they're having good fun. But fictional character to spend a day with. I honestly don't know. Like all the characters, like I'm just thinking about anime right now. All the characters I like in there are like terrible people, and I should stay very far away from them if I want to survive. Um, or they're just like really like they're just like very overpowered, and so they would get me into trouble because they can handle themselves and I can't. Yeah, I feel like Lord of the Rings still looks good. It's been a while since I watched it. Like I never like sat down with the intention to watch it. My dad really liked it, my brothers really liked it, so I've just kind of like watched it by osmosis at this point. I haven't seen the old Wonder Woman, or I've seen like clips of the old Batman. Like what was it? The one where Robin has a bomb and he's trying to find places to throw it, and it's like, oh no, I'm gonna throw it in the lake. Oh no, there's a duck in the lake. I couldn't possibly throw the bomb in the lake. Like I've seen like that. I haven't seen much more of it than that though. Hmm. I have to pick a good fictional character. And like, I don't know. I recently finished Year of the Witching, and like, Emmanuel's cool, but she's like a goody two shoes. I feel like we wouldn't get along. I don't know if we would last the day. I feel like we would go our separate ways. Um, I did. I also watched Jurassic Park by osmosis, some of the Jaws franchise. So I was just a weenie. Well, I'm still a weenie. I'm like really scared of like stuff like that. And so I can watch Jurassic Park now, but as a kid, like absolutely not. But like I still ended up watching because my brothers were always watching it. Oh, okay. Uh, I don't I don't know if my dad's dedicated enough to watch it every year. Um, oh, that's a question. Classic books. I'll try to answer the actual first question I was trying to get through. Wait, what? How's this? Oh, Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings. Okay, okay, okay. I was gonna say, I thought you said never watched any movie in full. I was like, wow, that's almost like dedication there. Um, character I'd spend the day with. Oh gosh, I have to answer. Let me pull up my Goodreads real quick and see what is on there. Actually, that might be easy. I'm gonna say, um, Sojourner from Far Sector because she's very stylish, and I feel like we would take like cute like friend selfies together, and that would be cool and nice. And also, she wouldn't do me harm, which is a plus. I should watch them at some. I don't know if I can do Justice League. I don't know. I like the cartoons, and I mean, I do like campy superhero movies. Like my brother loved the old the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. They're like they're so cheesy. And I do love this. I actually do really like the third one. Um lol. But yeah, I should probably watch them at some point. I don't know. I really like the cartoon ones. That was like an after school treat for me. That's so weird to think of, back when you had to find like the what was it, the little schedule or whatever online to find out when your show was, and like you just didn't have the internet to just like watch episodes whenever you wanted. I don't think I've watched one in full. I should get around to it. I just remember the soundtrack. Um, right, fictional character I'd spend time with or spend a day with. Wait, no, I already said that. I already said Sojourner from Far Sector. Classic books was a question. Yeah, where was it? So I can shout out the person. Oh. Haven't seen. I've seen the She-Ra reboot. I think I looked at the original character designs just for reference, but I don't think I've seen any of those. Someone asked classic books. I had an Austen phase, so probably one of those. I don't remember if I had a favorite though. I think I was real basic, and Pride and Prejudice was my favorite. Like if we're talking more recent classics, probably Beloved by Toni Morrison. Like I feel like I must have read a whole lot because school, but like I honestly don't remember any of them. Oops. Um. Oh, another question from Noria was thriller or horror. I think it would have to be horror. Um, I really, I don't really have an attention span. Oh, a TV guide. I don't. I remember seeing them around the house, but I don't know if I ever actually. I don't know if we got them delivered. Um, yeah, but also I only watched like 5 shows, and I just kind of knew the times, and so I don't know if I really had a use for a TV guide. And my dad would watch anything, and my mom was like a Luddite and wouldn't watch TV, and it was like a fight for her to let us have like games or anything that weren't educational. Um, oh, but I was saying, I don't have an attention span. So like I very rarely watch live action movies because it's hard for me to focus on them. Like a lot of the stuff I watch is like anime or cartoons. And it's like really hard for me to focus on books about real people. So like I mean I've read thrillers, like I've read Shutter Island. I think my first review on my channel was a thriller. It was Nina's Whisper by Sheena Howard. It's like a domestic thriller. But like for all time, I feel like I would need to do horror. Also, I'm starting to love like the really gross descriptions of like gore and the terrible things that happen to people in horror. Like I have a sweet spot where it's like great gross descriptions, and also like I'm not gonna be staying up to like 5 in the morning with the lights on. And I'm sort of starting to find books in that sweet spot, which is nice. Um, what was it? Oh, another one from Nori was sci-fi or fantasy for the rest of your life. I feel like I would say fantasy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just most of what I read right now. And also, I don't know. I feel like a lot of stuff just gets tossed into the fantasy category where I don't know if I'd always agree. Like I feel like sci-fi people are like more like pushy about what the boundary is and like it's more narrow in what people like to define as sci-fi. I don't know, like City We Became, like I've slipped into the calling it fantasy, even though in my head it's a sci-fi because it's like multiverse. And like for me, most stuff with a multiverse in it is sci-fi. I mean, even though it does have like the Avatar elements, which I guess are more fantasy, but I don't know. I guess that's like what I mean. Like it's like, oh, it has this fantasy element, so it can't be sci-fi, like kind of sweeping it out. So I feel like I would do fantasy. Um, oh, another one from Noria was what was my experience like on BookTube? It's been fine. It's a very general question. I feel like I feel like she had a more pointed thing when she posted it, but I forget. I didn't do a good job writing it down. Um, I mean, when I started out, I had like zero time because I was commuting to work, and my commute to work is like an hour and a half if I when I was driving before COVID, like when I still had to deal with traffic. And yeah, yeah. I like science fantasy a lot. But I had to so yeah, that was like basically 3 hours a day just commuting. And so when I got home, I was ungodly tired and it was like hard for me to do work on the train. Like I really like I don't feel comfortable filming in public. So really all I could do was like read and plan reviews, which was like fine. Like I read like so much when I had to commute. But also the weekend came around and I just wanted to like flop in bed and I had to like basically prep for the week so I didn't have time to actually work on stuff. And my thumbnails were butt ugly because I made them all in Microsoft PowerPoint because I didn't know that Canva was free. Um, I didn't know about Pixar, so I couldn't remove backgrounds from stuff. So I did that for like a while. And I don't know. And I was just posting TBRs because like uncomfortable, like because one, I just like read so much stuff that I didn't really want to review it all. It's just like I was tired. I didn't feel like it, and like I didn't know how to show covers in iMovie. No, I don't even know what I would do if I saw The Weeknd just like in person. That'd be such a weird experience. But no, it was just like I was just very overwhelmed basically all the time. So really all I could do was like TBRs like once a month. So obviously, and also I didn't know that people don't really get notifications if you just like a comment. Like they more so get notifications on YouTube if you like reply to the comment. So basically I was just posting once a month with ugly thumbnails and I mean my lighting's not great now, but it's like better than it used to be. And I just posted TBRs once a month. And so obviously people didn't really want to tune into that. And I don't know if it was around quarantine when I was able to do it a lot more regularly, or if I'd been sort of pushing to do it more regularly while I was still with the commute. But when quarantine happened, I stopped reading for like a month because I was just not in the reading mood. And then I basically was able to get 8 hours of sleep every night and not worry about commuting or meal prepping and like losing my whole weekend. So I was able to do more stuff on my channel. And so here we are. Um Also I was just very resistant to trying new things when I started out. I don't know. Cause I was just like very self-conscious of the fact that like it wasn't great content from my channel. And so I felt really weird about like asking people to watch it or like, I don't know, putting in certain amounts of effort. Yeah, it is real weird. I feel like I don't know how people who like don't already like have like text like friends on like booktube, like people they can ask for advice. I don't know how they navigate it. Cause like there's just so many things I didn't know how to do. It's the and you can see all my like junk in the background. uh yeah. Um yeah. And like I was like aware that like ring lights and mics existed, but like I'm also like tight on space. And at the time that the pandemic struck, I was like thinking I was gonna move out. And so I was like, I don't want to acquire a whole bunch of stuff like just to move somewhere else. It does. Like I have like so many ideas and scripts and stuff written, well, outlines written out, and I'm just like, oh, I have to get it all out. I have to film it all. Ah, I have to edit it all. Ah, I just make things so much more difficult than they have to be. Thank you, Misty. Oh wow, I didn't realize you were gone for that long. Okay. Yeah, I have to work on sound I have to work on it. Like I realized I could touch things up in iMovie, but yeah, I have to touch things up in iMovie, and I probably like I think I was looking around at mics. I think I can get one for fairly cheap, so I should probably just get one because I talk low normally, and I can hear like everything in this house, for the most part. Like if it's just quiet and I'm like if I wasn't talking, I could probably hear the conversation happening in the kitchen downstairs, which I don't think is normal for the other people in the house, but like I don't want to be like talking loud enough that the mic picks it up or my computer mic picks it up because to me it feels like it's yelling. That was what I was laughing at. It's a quick exit. Yeah, the editing. The sound is a thing I will need to work on. I've been putting off getting I should stop putting off the mic because it's cheap enough that I think it's like worth it for me to get it. And like if I got like a headset with a mic, I probably need that for work because I just use the earbuds and they're kind of messing up my ears. Um Man, so that was BookTube, fictional. Oh, and then my random one that I picked for myself was main on Super Smash. Um Like I don't really talk about playing video games that much, and I don't play as much anymore. But I play a lot of like mostly like rated E games. And I used to really like Super Smash. And my main on there is usually like the lighter characters. Like I'm always the person like I tried to play I think Ganondorf once and like I just couldn't get any hits in. I was falling off the stage and dying. Yeah, editing is a pain. My thing is that random editing tip is that I get distracted a lot or like I lose my train of thought. And before I would just kind of like blabber on and on trying to circle back to it. And that just made editing a pain. But if when you get distracted, you just like stop talking and gather yourself and then go from there, it makes it a lot easier to just visually see like, okay, this part needs to get cut. And it makes like the join between the words a little nicer. Editing that's my editing tips. Um But yeah, Super Smash is like a brawl game where you fight and you try to throw people off the stage. And I can't play any of the bulkier characters because I die really fast and I'm like really clunky and not maneuverable. So I usually play like characters that can fly. So like Kirby or like I think Meta Knight's actually probably my second favorite, but above that is Peach. Like Peach really can't fly at all. But I just her main attack is hip checking people, and I just like hip checking people, so she's my favorite. And after that, Zelda kind of, because I like playing as Sheik. Um, and then after that, probably Donkey Kong. He's probably like the bulkiest character that I will play though. Like I can't play as Ike. I can't play as Ganondorf. Donkey Kong is kind of like as big as I can get. Yes, Meta Knight is the best. He can fly. He has great. He can just like sweep back and forth across the screen with his like tornado attack. He's probably like my top one. I remember people get so salty because I was just like, you've got like this little platform and you're stuck on the platform, and if you fall off, you die. And so there'd be people who had really bulky characters, and I would just have my small little Meta Knight and just go like, zoom, 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 with my sword back and forth across the screen. And people got so pissed at it. Meta Knight is a very solid Super Smash pick. Um, mm, I had a couple other ones, but they're not really interesting. And I should start sprinting because we have to live with Harley and Erica and Ashley and Brie on the 20th for Minion by LA Banks. And I'm like 22 pages in. Like, it's a fast read, so I'm confident I can get there in time, but like, I don't want to chance it. So we can start sprinting. How long do people want to go for? I was gonna do 30 minutes. You can like type it in the comments and I'll wait a little bit to see what people say. If anyone objects to 30 minutes. I'm gonna wait until like, I guess 8. Oh. Not by much, Erica. Not by much. Yay, 30 minutes. Okay. So let's try out this handy dandy YouTube timer. I was playing around with sharing the screen earlier. Let's see if I can do that. And then let's start at 8:40 since people seem to like even numbers. I can't do that's not a sprint, that's a marathon. Honestly, 30 minutes is kind of pushing it for a sprint for me. Not a 60-minute sprint. It's not a marathon, it's at least like mid-distance event, like a 400 meter or an 800 meter. You're good. Oh, oops, sorry. That's what I'm saying. 60 minutes. You know how many opportunities I have to get out of my book and go into Twitter over 60 minutes? That's not a sprint. You're good, T. We kind of publicized it late. You don't like have to show up to every one, you know, you can always watch after the fact and it's still fun. Ugh. Let's see. I feel like time always goes so much slower when you want it to go fast. Which everyone ever has probably said, but still a thing that blows my mind. Okay. 8:40, and we're gonna start our sprint. See, this is why I can't do 60-minute sprints. I'm getting distracted already. Okay, that was 30 minutes. Let's see. How's everyone's reading? What's everyone working on? I know Salter. What did you say? Opprobrium. I feel like I've heard that once upon a time. I don't know what it means though. I wonder if I have it in my handy dandy little list. I have like a list of words I don't know. Oh, no, I don't have it. So I haven't heard it before because I don't have it in my list. Just like keep a tally. Because maybe someday it might pay off. Maybe. Probably not, but you never know. Harsh criticism or censure. I might have heard the let me not make up memories. I don't think I've ever heard it. But it is a new word that I can add to the list. Okay. That's good. I'm not that far. Also, a late hi to Jerry, and thank you for joining if you're still here. Wings of Ebony and Ballad of Black Tom. I haven't started Ballad of Black Tom. I think I was going to try The Changeling by Victor LaValle. That was my goal for last year, and it was like the 9th hour or something, like November, December, and I was like, it's just not happening. So I gave up on that. I read Wings of Ebony. It's been fun watching everyone's reactions to that. Oh, yeah, I've seen you talking about Unraveling on Twitter, Kiki. I haven't read it yet. My library, it takes them forever to get stuff by, well, maybe not by Karen Lord, but I remember they didn't have Redemption in Indigo, so I placed a request, and in the meantime, I like bought it because they don't always get my requests, and then they got it. And for some reason, I just thought they were going to start stocking more of her stuff because they have like 2 other books by her in the system. I think like Galaxy Game and Best of All Possible Worlds, but they still don't have it. So if I want to read it, I'll probably have to buy it at some point. Boyfriend Project. Is that a romance? It sounds familiar. Like I feel like I should know what that is. Boyfriend Project by Farrah Rashan. Rom-com. Okay. I think I've seen the cover around. Minion, yes. There's a bit where I think it's Damali is the leader, and she has like heightened senses, and her heightened senses are gone for her smell and taste, and it was just like thinking of COVID and vampire COVID. Gutter Child. Yeah, that one like just I don't know if it just came out, but it's a Canadian. I might not even be based in character, but the author's Canadian. It's a dystopian. No, yeah, it did just come out late January. I'm interested to hear what you think of it because I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it. I haven't seen a lot of press for it. Midnight Rain. Midnight Rain. I don't think I've heard of that. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. Coming of Age. Those are fun. Oh, the Gilded Ones and Unbroken. I have to start Unbroken soon because I have an arc. I'm just I have a lot of scripts for reviews up, and I just haven't had I don't know, I've just felt really weird about sitting down and like filming. Like I've just been filming like random things that like aren't what I need to make. I'm really looking forward to the Unbroken. I've heard good things about the Gilded Ones. I feel like I've only heard positive reviews so far. So whenever the the whole list at the library goes down, I'm gonna try and snag a copy. I don't know, that's all I could think of. Vampire COVID. Yeah, the limited editions look really pretty, like, all the covers look so nice. Um, I think there was, like, a blip or something last year with what was it? One of those subscription boxes and people got them early? Maybe it wasn't a blip, but I remember that Gilded Ones, I think, was supposed to be published last year, but then COVID stuff messed with the timeline, and so they pushed it back. But I think they already planned to send out copies through a subscription box. I remember some people got them early. That could not be correct. It could have been all part of marketing. Thea got 2 chapters more to Theodore Taylor's His Revenge Baby. Oh, that's disappointing. About the rep of black men. Well, Persephone Station. I missed that. Sorry, I missed you, T. Persephone. I feel like if you're at the 50% mark, that's as good as it's gonna get, I feel like you're set to DNF if you want a DNF. Um, yeah. So, I mean, the writing's probably gonna be the same writing style the whole book. The issues are probably gonna be the same issues at this point. I would just let it go. Find a book that brings you joy. Oh, that's interesting. Pacing in both books are opposites. Gilded Ones gets right into it. Unbroken takes about 70 pages before the story takes off. I forget the page count on, what was it? The Unbroken. Let me not lie. Let me just double check the page count. Okay. So it's like 450 pages in the ebook. I don't know. I feel like 70 pages to get started for a 450-page book isn't terrible. I know I've definitely seen. Oh, let me take that back. That's like 15%. I mean, that's not terrible. I've definitely had books with slower starts, but yeah, never mind. I take that back. It starts slow. Okay, I'll keep that in mind for the read. Bought my box with Scented Lit, of course. Black. Racial romance. Second black man I've seen. Yeah. I don't know. I I've just heard. I just had. I haven't read an interracial romance, but how I've seen it in movies, I'm very wary of picking up a book. Oh, print arc is 486. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot for me. I'll say that's a lot for me. I was like unhauling some books over, I think it was 2 weekends ago now, and I realized that I had books that were like, it was the Harry Potters, I'll just say it. It was the Harry Potters, and some of them were like 800 some pages. I was like, that's wild. Like, especially for like, because in my library system, that's in the juvenile fiction section. That there's like 800-page books for kids. I'm just like, I don't know what to say. It's unfortunate, the things that I don't I just tend to avoid it because I think it's I think there's like very complicated dynamics that happen in racial relationships, and I think it's very difficult to write about that honestly and like still keep up the upbeat thing of a romance. So I think sometimes, you know, things are, I don't know if I'd say too easy or too simple, but yeah, I'll just say that. Yeah, I don't want to get into it. There's like one movie in particular I'm thinking of that was like real bad. Couple couple years back. Let me see if I can remember it. No, I'm not gonna remember it, but it was just a very unfortunate movie. It was like about this uh child who had a black parent and a white parent, and they were just like really going out of their way to like pull out every stereotype for like the black side of the family and why like they wouldn't be good parents. And then there's like some bit where like the white grandparent who's raising her like uses the N word, and then it's like he ends up getting custody of her, and I was like, yeah, like I don't think that's gonna be everything ever, but I've just had weird relationships with or weird experiences reading stories with that. Even if it's like not that extreme. Um and it's just like not I just have a weird history and experiences with that. It means I don't wanna read it too much, and I'm like very picky about who I would trust to tell an interracial romance. I don't remember. I remember it came out when I was like a sophomore in I think I was a sophomore in college, so I think that would be like I can't math. I think it was like 4 years ago now. It might I don't even know what the movie Bodyguard's about. Let me pull it up, see if I can ID the man. I don't mm, if it's the older guy, it might be that one. Kevin Costner. Yeah, yep. You were right. It was with Kevin Costner. I I didn't watch it. I just heard the synopsis and saw the trailer, and I was like, that's a hard pass. Um, so I guess we can do the next sprint at 9:25. Um, how to pass the 2 minutes? Yes, no. I think we were talking about the same movie. Yes, because I remember that scene, and they're trying to play it off. I haven't seen the whole thing. I just read the synopsis. I read reviews of it, and they were really trying to play it off like it wasn't that big a deal. And I was like, mm, yeah. And like the her black family was like so like stereotypical. Like it was like the dad wasn't in the family because he did drugs or something like that. And it was just like such a. It was just like the idea of it was such a mess. I was like, I don't need to see this. I mean, I guess there isn't really a way to pass the time because it's 1 minute. But for the next round, if there's extra time, we can do the story time thing where I will tell you my options for humorous anecdotes and you can pick. Wait, what? I didn't know about this. Uh, I didn't know that. That makes it even worse. uh, yeah, yeah. I basically heard what I heard and I was like, this sounds like a mess and I don't want to watch it. But it sounds like it's even worse than what I heard. Okay. It is 9:25. Let's start the next oops. I'm supposed to give you guys an option. Ugh, I'm gonna be honest, I had to get up and walk around during the 30-minute one. Um, Harley sent me a cute timer. Or was it? That was for 20 minutes. Let me see if I can pull that up. And it has fish in the background. Um, oops. So we don't want that timer. We want the jellyfish timer. Where? And I'm gonna start. Oh gosh, I only have 4 tabs and it's still so hard for me to navigate. So we're gonna start the sprint now. Okay, so that was the second round. Hi, Regina Renee. Yeah, I really like this one. Harley recommended this one to me. They sent it over, and I like the jellies. I like the music. Um, it just sounds really nice. I really like it. So, how did everyone's reading go? If you saw me not reading, I was not just goofing around on Twitter. I did a little bit of that, but also more importantly, taking notes on Minion because I don't super duper need the notes, but it's like nice for me to have little paragraph summaries, um, just to make sure that I'm like actually keeping track of stuff. Because sometimes I'll be like, yeah, yeah, I'm reading, and it's like if you ask me what I've been reading, I couldn't tell you. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose track of stuff. You're writing now. Nice. It's important to reward yourself for your hard work. Not an awful little. That's fair. It's late. It's probably been a long week. 0 pages, Erica. Let me not put you on the spot like that. Um, that's okay. There's always a next round of sprints. And maybe tonight's just not your night. Oh, hi, thank you. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, 20 minutes is good for me. Like I was goofing around a little, but like it was much less than when I had the 30 minutes. I should honestly just close the tab on Twitter because mm, gosh. See, I need to just close the Twitter tab before I get distracted. It brings no good. Nice. Oh, you stuck it out, T? I don't know if I could. For me, if we're at like page 169 and it's just now getting interesting, that's like, it's not going to do well in Goodreads for me. Nap sprints. Gotta get the rest in somehow. You're a note taker, Kiki? I'm I'm not so much. Um from what you've talked, because I've seen some of the quotes you posted, Unraveling sounds like it's a very beautiful, very dense, very difficult to understand book. So I can see why you're taking notes. I don't really take notes that often unless I know I'm going to be talking about a book. Like I know for a fact, like I'm doing a live or a standalone review. Like if I'm just like casually reading it, I might not. I usually don't. Um, I keep getting distracted from this little summary. I second the motion for Erica to get ice cream. And you should tell us what flavor and what brand. Because I'm just nosy and I want to know. I think that makes sense to take notes during rereads. I don't know. I think also during a reread, it's easier to tell like what's going to be important and like what actually needs a note. I feel like sometimes if you're just taking notes through the first read, you're just like, for me at least, I'm just like highlighting every single thing and being like, this is gonna be important, and it's like not. I have not read Unraveling. I've just read your posts about it. Nosiness. Um, it's kind of like it's a mix. Like it's one, I have like a looser curl pattern, and two, I do just gel the bejesus out of my hair. Like I do put in a lot of like product and stuff to get it to lay down. Like if I were to like lay on a pillow right now and then for like and like rub my head and then come back up, it would be more like frizzy. I don't really know how to describe it. It would look more like those it would look more like those like braiding wigs, like where the hair is just kind of like standing up like an anime character's, but it's still straight ish. I don't know. Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't know that they made ice cream. Is it good? I have questions now. I haven't been in Dunkin' Donuts in so long. Like those were my favorite donuts when I was a kid, and now my favorites are like Krispy Kreme, which is apparently an unpopular opinion, and there's like this local donut place by me that I like to support because the lady's nice and she always gives me extra donuts. Oh, you're reading what was it, Baba Seji and His Four Wives? I haven't read it, but who is it? Uh, I think it's Ari at Bori Queer Reads. I was reading it and I saw their video about it, and it sounds like Baba Seji's a mess. Oh, Baskin Robbins. Okay, okay, okay. I've heard their ice cream's good. It's weird because I'm in like the burbs, and I feel like this is like department store, random chain central. Like I feel like they're like everywhere. But like I've never been into Baskin Robbins. I don't know where the closest Baskin Robbins is to me. I like ice cream, okay? And I'm not really like actively looking for recommendations, but if someone makes a compelling argument for why I should try their ice cream, I would most definitely get it next time it's on sale or something. Okay. So I think we're going to start the next sprint at 10. So that gives some time to see if I want to do the story time. Unless people have other things they want to talk about. Where is it? I just need to move this in my folder so it's easier to find. So making my life difficult for no reason. Okay. Oh. And out, work tomorrow. Bye, Misty. Thanks for stopping in. And thanks for signal boosting and everything. Good luck with work tomorrow, and I hope you have a good night's sleep. See, it's been so long since I've been in a Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they sold ice cream. I knew they did breakfast sandwiches and stuff, but I didn't know that they had like a freezer. I don't know if I'm tempted to try it or not. Maybe if they have some nice flavors. Yeah, tea. We have standalone Baskin Robbins by me too. Like those are mostly the ones that I see. Like I don't know if I've seen their ice cream in like the store or not. Just laughing reading this Baba Seji comment. Ugh, let me see. Because I also wasn't counting on how many people would be in the chat. And so it's like, oh, which weird experiences do I want to put on the internet? Okay. This is a relatively safe one. So the two options are hearing about the weirdest music event I've ever been to. I very purposely did not say concert, it is a music event. Or why I have hangups about dating people who like astrology. See, I like Krispy Kreme too. I didn't know people didn't like Krispy Kreme. Like, there was a girl I was casually dating who loved Krispy Kreme, and there was like none in our area. It's so weird because like we're in Philly, it's a huge city, and there's no Krispy Kremes in there. And like I like made a point to get her donuts from there, and it was like a big selling point. Like all the people in the dorm wanted them too. And then I get on a live with someone and no one likes the Krispy Kreme. And I'm just like, what is this? What's wrong with them? Also, I like really sweet things, so that stuff doesn't bother me. In terms of how many people I was expecting like two. So I was like, if I just tell two people the weird story and just like delete the video if I feel real bad about it, it'll be like it never happened. But with 10 people, and some of the people on here, maybe not calling out. I'm just laughing about Harley because Harley actually put in the group chat that I'm a fake nerd, which I guess is true. But I basically wasn't expecting there to be more than 5 people. Okay, so astrology. So astrology. It's a thing on all the dating apps, right? They ask you your sign. And I don't really follow astrology. I'm not like necessarily like annoyed at people who do, but it's just like not my thing. And there's a girl I was seeing. Um, we were like at some little like market somewhere, and we're just kind of like walking around making small talk. And one of the stands is like personalized jewelry and business cards, and they have like little personalized like astrology jewelry. I'm like, oh, do you like astrology? Like just making conversation. She's like, no, I don't like astrology. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't really either. But like that's like kind of a dead end conversation. Now there's something to talk about. So we move on, whatever. And what was it? It was kind of like we had started dating like maybe like a month before her birthday. So it wasn't serious when it was her birthday, but I got her like a very small gift, like some slightly nicer chocolates, like maybe like $15 worth of chocolate or something from like a Godiva or something like that. And it's all well and good. And then she's like, oh, when's your birthday? And I'm like, oh, she's gonna get me something? I'm so excited. I can't wait. I wonder. I mean, obviously it's not gonna be a big thing, but like I'm just like excited to see like what she'll think up or what she think I might like. And then my birthday comes around and she didn't get me anything. I was like, what's going on? Why did you ask for my birthday if you weren't gonna do anything for my birthday? And she was like, oh, I was just checking to see if we were sign compatible. I was like, but you told me you didn't like astrology. She's like, oh, did I? I guess I forgot. I was like, what? And then she tried to give me, and then she tried to get me to tell her like the rest of my information so she could find out my moon sign and like my risings and all that. I was like, what on earth? No, no, no. And so now that's why I'm wary of astrology, people. People ask for my birthday and I think that they want to get me gifts and they don't. They just want to see if we're if we're astrologically compatible. Well, the joke of when someone's saying they're a Leo. I don't get that deep into it. I don't get that deep into it. I like Krispy. I like Krispy Kreme too. I don't understand why people don't like it. Like it's sweet fried dough. What don't you like? Oh, my fear when someone I'm not, they're trying to talk to you and I ask what's your sign. Oh, I'll save that in my back pocket. No gifts, no gifts. Not even not even like a pack of like gummy lifesavers. No, no goldfish, no Capri Suns, no nothing. Playing with my feelings, playing with my emotions. And the kicker of it all is that I put my sign in my bio. Like, I don't care about it, but I'm like, if it's that big a deal that you need to know, like, here is my bio, so you can like self-select out if you so need. But no. I hate when people tell me I'm such an Aries. Yeah, I'm a Scorpio, and basically all the memes about me are online are that I'm really mean and I'm really angry and no one likes me, and I'm like, I feel like, I mean, people don't make a point of telling me if they don't like me, but I feel like I'm not like angry or like fiery all the time. I feel like this is completely like the opposite of me, but I'm sure someone who understands astrology could give me the rundown on why that is, but yeah, I'm wary of astrology people. Okay, so we ran a little overtime, so we can start in like 2 minutes the next sprint. Who was bashing the Aries, Brit? Was that Salter? No, he was talking about Leos and Tauruses. I don't even know what people say about Aries, do you? Oh, mm, no, I do. Because there's a rapper who talks a lot about being an Aries and how she's the personification of an Aries. So I think I probably do know why there's Aries bashing. I had a friend who was so into it. She had like this giant tome from like the 80s that she found at a thrift shop about like, it was basically like, I don't know if you ever had to take that like job strength assessment when you're in like middle school to tell you what jobs you should like consider. And yeah, it was just so funny because she's like, there's still good stuff in here, but it's from the 80s. So it was like, oh, you should consider a job as like a typist or something like that. And it'll be like jobs that are not a thing anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if anyone would really describe me as like fiery and stuff. Like I don't know, I feel like that's how Scorpios are usually described. And like I can get angry, but like you have to push me pretty far. Like I think it's been a while since I've like done more than raise my voice at someone who's gotten on my bad side. Oh, the hate. Like, let me see if I can find some. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those signs who like doesn't like the Scorpio who's making all this propaganda about me. But I haven't seen a flattering meme about a Scorpio in a while. All those Scorpio memes I've seen have been like they're real mean, they're real passionate and angry. Let me see. Yeah, I can't find any good memes. I feel like also if you search memes, you always get bad results. Okay, so it is. Oh no, 10:05 now, 10:06. So let's just start that stream from the top. Okay, that was round 2 of the reading sprints. How's everyone doing? See, I just finished. I'm I started Minion, I think yesterday, and I'm 3 chapters in, and it's like moving at a pretty quick pace. Like I'm feeling pretty good about finishing it by the 20th. Um, just typing up the summary of the chapter before I forget. But yeah, it's like so far it's been a fight scene and some gore. Um, like the descriptions of the gore aren't super intense. It's like we see a lot of the after effects. Read a read a bit of Black Tom and I'm excited to get to the spooky stuff. I've heard which is that? Black Tom, that's the one that's a retelling of what? Red Hook? I thought it was a Lovecraft story that it was a riffing on. Um, yeah, I don't know much about Laval's writing, if he's like a slower paced writer or what. 30 pages? That's good. I probably didn't do 30 pages. So chapter, yeah, yeah. I, yeah, I mean, I can kind of get away with not doing it for YA stuff, but like, I feel like sometimes also, if I think that it's like a simpler book, it's like, I don't know, maybe I just like zone out more. And so it's like more important for me to do summaries because I like think I'm paying attention when I'm not. I don't know. I think I have a better handle on crime mystery aspect. You're paying attention this time. Uh, yeah, I don't. I heard that it's in the same universe as Redemption and Indigo. And I really liked Redemption and Indigo, so I want to check it out. But I don't read a whole lot of crime fiction, so I'm kind of interested what the twist is going to be. Action scenes. Oh, okay. Wait, Regina Renee, did you say what book you were reading? You don't have to share if you don't want to. I'm just curious. Um, yeah, sometimes I don't know what the last book is where I was like really laughing at it, like really, really hard. It's been a while, but sometimes characters are just like that. Oh, sorry. You said you were reading Baba Seji. I'm sorry. You did say that. Oh. So yeah, I have Black Tom. I've yet to read any Laval. Another of his books in the house somewhere. Loved one of the panels I saw him last year, so bumped him up. I hmm. I'm I think I've seen him on one panel. I think it was actually the event this shirt is from. Um, it was like a black comic panel um, that a library was doing. I think it was Nedia Corfor. I know for sure it was Nedia Corfor, and um, I'm pretty sure Laval was there too. And I think Matt Woodruff, whoever wrote Lovecraft Country, and he isn't black, but I think the panel is more about like black characters as opposed to the race of the author. Um, and I think maybe John Jennings. And I'm completely blanking on if Laval what Laval talked about. Like I see him on panels every once in a while, but like I can't think of anything off the top of my head he said that's really stuck with me. Same universe, character stories develop is great. Hmm. Yeah, I mean it just sounds different. Like I don't think Redemption Indigo was like too complicated from like a plot. Like structure standpoint, it could seem pretty linear. Um, and like what the narrator is saying is what's happening. Like there's not a it's not very dense. I want to say misleading, but I don't know what that is. If that's the right word. Oh, I haven't read Till the Well Runs Dry. I feel like that's on my Goodreads, but like kind of low because it's real. Let me not. Never mind, never mind, never mind. This might not be my Goodreads. Let me double check that. I'm not going to go all the way through. But realistic fiction tends to go lower in my Goodreads priority list. But if it's funny, then I'll definitely try and check it out. I should like start a a shelf for books that will be funny. That's something that I don't read too much of. Yeah, Matt Ruff. Oh, sorry. Did I say Matt Woodruff? Sorry, Matt Ruff. Thanks, T. So I guess we can start the next one at 10:40. And I think I'm sorry for not asking for input, but I really like the 20-minute timer. I really like this thing that Harley sent me, and I feel like that's like my sweet spot. So I'm gonna keep the 20 minutes. So next one will be at 10:40, and so people can keep talking about what they're reading, and we can talk about that, or I can look in my little Rolodex of stories and see if I have anything interesting. Some of them aren't funny, some of them are just weird. I have one of them picked if we go the story route, but I have to pick the second one. I think I have two picked. Yeah, The Well Runs Dry is the Lauren Francis Sharma book, Kiki. I just pulled it up. It's not a democracy. I'm sorry. It should probably be more interactive, maybe another time, but you know what? You raise a good point, Erica. Who doesn't love democracy? Let's put it to a vote. Does anyone want to do 15-minute sprints? Do people want to do 25-minute sprints? A live tag Q&A. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen that video, Erica. I'm sorry. And sorry, YouTube T. $25. I feel like I should make it a little longer. There's no objections to 25. It'll be a 25. Oh, 20. I'll do 25 just to show that I'm not a dictator. Okay. I mean, that sounds chill. It just sounds like this where I will not have to edit. But also, I feel like if I did a book tag live, it'd just be a lot of me going like, because I'm I'm not quick on my feet. I'm not good at thinking of answers on the spot. I mean, I've been meaning to do the Read So Lit tag. I was I was tagged last February by and Jerry, and I never did it. So I could theoretically do that live because then that would be one less thing for me to edit. I think for now I'll just do the stories and then maybe after next sprint, if we're still going, I can do the question. So this round of voting for the stories is God damn it. Why do I keep losing my place? So this round of stories is either my most disappointing track moment, like I used to run track, my most disappointing moment, or the worst I've ever gotten lost. You can vote by leaving a comment, or we can just pass the time until 10:40. Lost. Lost. I don't see the worst I've ever gotten lost. Okay. So I was like in high school and I had family friends who lived in Alaska and they were like, I they had like offered that I could like stay with them for a little bit. Because I'd never been to Alaska and like there's like no reason for me to really ever go to Alaska again. Um it's just real far from everything. And for those that don't know about Alaska, Alaska is just basically an entire state of forests and wilderness and bears, and it's very cold. It's very far to the north, and even in the summer, I think the sun doesn't set till like 10 p.m. or something. Like you need to get special shades if you want to sleep well in the summer. So I was there with the family friends, and there's basically no one there my age. Like everyone's either like 40 and I'm like 16, or they're like 8. And I was just kind of bored sitting around the house. Like I didn't really have anything to do. And they're like, "Oh, there's this local landmark that's like a 5-minute walk from the house." Um, the house is like like I said, in Alaska in the middle of the woods. It's like not in the main city. And they're like, "Oh, there's this house like 5 minutes walk from here. How about you just like go and like take a look? It's like this old rundown, used to be like a trading outpost. Maybe that'll be interesting." And I'm like, "Okay, might as well." And so I go walking, and it's supposed to be like a straight shoot from where I am. And I'm walking and walking, and I don't see the house. And I'm just chilling, walking, enjoying myself, looking around. So I don't notice how long I've been walking. But after a certain point, I'm like, it's been way more than 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, Erica, definitely take care of your eyes. Have a good night. But so I'm walking, walking, and it's only supposed to be 5 minutes away, and it has been more than 5 minutes. And I stop and think, like I did have a phone at the time, and like I checked the phone, but like I didn't really know um what time I left at, so I still really didn't know how long I'd been gone for. And for whatever reason, rather than turn around and come back, I'm like, well, the outpost must be around here somewhere. So I just keep walking and walking and walking. And I'm just like in the woods on this trail, and I'd probably been walking for like an hour or something ridiculous. Like I think at one point I I like passed some concrete slab area with like a keep out sign that said something about a pipeline. Some random dog, like some husky, started following me. Um, and what else? And you're not really supposed to be by yourself in the woods for that long because there's things like grizzly bears and moose and things like that, like a lot of large animals that will attack people. And so I was like happy that the dog was there because I figured that it would sense anything coming. And also, like, I mean, I probably couldn't outrun the dog, but I figured that whatever wild animals out there would take the dog before me if I was lucky. And that actually, having the dog was probably like not a good thing. Because at one point it runs away, and I'm like, okay, I'm really far. I should just turn around and go back now. Like, I probably missed it. The little house was only supposed to be 5 minutes away, and when the dogs run away and the dog starts coming back, and I'm like, "Whatever, it's been doing that for a while." Like, it'll just kind of run away and come back. But this time when it's coming back, there's a moose with it. And, like, the dog is getting real close to the moose and, like, closer than I would get, um, and kind of antagonizing it a little. And then the dog, after antagonizing the moose, starts running towards me, starts kind of antagonizing the moose towards me. I was like, "Shit." Like, thankfully, the dog got tired of bothering the moose before the moose got, like, all the way towards me, but I was, like, actually, like, "What the hell do I do? Do I have to climb a tree? Like, I can't outrun this moose." I don't even know basic moose safety because 'cause I'm not from Alaska. And so, basically, that was, like, the big event that happened on this hour-long walk. It was only supposed to be 5 minutes, and I kinda get lost on the way back too, like, I took some fork off the path and forgot about it, and so, like, that was another thing where I thought I was just gonna be stuck in the wilderness with no signal, and, like, that was gonna be the end of me. But I eventually made it back, and the family friends had been a moose. It was a big moose, it was not a baby moose, it had antlers and everything. I don't know how tall it was because I just thought that was irrelevant. I was like, moose are moose are no good. Like they're vegetarians, but they're very territorial, like the mamas especially. And they're just big. And like I have no business being anywhere near a moose, no matter how old. So I really was not trying to get a good look at how tall it was, but there was a moose. And yeah, the dog was like chasing it towards me. But at some point it got tired of it, thankfully, before it became like a potential like potential danger issue. And so anyway, I like get lost on the way back to so I've probably been gone for like an hour and a half at this point. And the family friends are distraught. They're like, "Oh my god, where did you go? Like you're only supposed to be gone for like 5 minutes and like you've been gone for over an hour. Like what on earth was going on?" And it turns out that the outpost that the family friends sent me to look for had been torn down years ago. So she just sent me on this fool's errand for a cabin that didn't exist. And because I didn't have the common sense to just give up and turn back, I was like, I'm just going to go traipsing through the woods. I'm pretty sure I was on all sorts of private property that I should not have been on, which also could have been an issue. Like if someone was really gun happy. Um, yeah. So that's the absolute worst I've gotten lost. Like, it was bad that the thing that made me stop was, like, the sign that was, like, pipeline nearby or something like that, when that was when I was like, "Oh, I don't think I'm sure I should have hit the cabin by now. Time to go home." Like, just no common sense, and that's probably the worst I've ever been lost. Yeah. I was so I'm just thinking about it, I was so melodramatic because there was a point where I was just back, and I was like, "What if I'm stuck out here and I guess it's not melodramatic 'cause I didn't know how to get back. We were not destined to meet, no. No. That would be so bad, and, like, when I got back after, like, making fun of me for, like, being so goofy that I walked for an hour, I was only supposed to walk for 5 minutes, they started telling me stories about all the people who got mauled walking in those woods. They're like, "Oh, did you hear about this grizzly bear attack in, like, '08? Did you hear about this grizzly bear attack in, like, such and such?" I'm just like, "Oh gosh." I really lucked out that nothing happened to me. It's yeah. I've done something similar because I don't pay attention to roads when I'm driving. I just really pay attention to landmarks. And so there was a point where like someone had to drive me home. And so I was just like, oh, home's this way. And I like gave them directions to like a place I'd lived like when I was a kid, and I was like, that's not home now. Oops, gotta find the way back. So, how about you start the 25 minutes in 2 minutes? I was supposed to start it 6 minutes ago, but I was slacking. I was telling my very rambly story about the moose. How long do people wanna yeah, like, it's bad because 'cause I've been in the same spot for, like, at least a decade now, and I still don't really know the street names. I'm just like, take a left until you hit the Wawa, and then you take a right till you hit the Sunoco, and that's how you get where you're going. Like, it's just basically muscle memory, like, when I'm driving, like or lots of GPS. I'm just not good with streets. Let's queue up that timer. We'll start in a minute. Oh, so that's the start, and happy sprinting. Okay. That was the reading sprint. Um, I almost finished a chapter. I've got like 5 pages left in this chapter. Um, Something real weird happened. There's like a sexual encounter. The shower was the person who experienced it doesn't know if it was just her imagination or if it was like some weird invisible demon force thing, but I think there was a sexual encounter with some invisible weird demon force thing in a shower. So that's just happened. Um how's it going in your books? Anybody? Yeah, it was something. It was like she didn't realize it till the end, but I was like the second it started, I was like, this is something. This is either a demon or a ghost, but nothing good can come of this. Only 10 pages had to show the grandkids. Okay. Hope they're doing okay. Oh, what? How? How is that not as exciting as demon ghost shower sex traveling through someone's memory of their murder? That sounds very interesting. Yay! Progress on the book. Best of luck. Oh, all the murder they committed. Oh, I mean, that still sounds very interesting. Stopped with one character feeling relieved that no sex was going to happen. It seems like a good place to be. I don't know. That reminds me of, gosh, what was it? I think it was the Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. Um, I just remember a scene in there where I think it was one of the moms was talking about her marriage, and it was just kind of sad. My inspiring writer. Um, I don't want to be like I write for fun, and it would be nice to get to a point where I could write it well enough to get paid for it. I don't know if I'd ever want to do it full time. It's just kind of like I'll have topics where I'm like, oh, like this could be something that like I could see like I don't know, like Lit Hub or something writing an article about. So I should type it up and maybe I could get paid for it. Like it was one of my goals for this year to like just like submit stuff because I that's like the first step. So I guess yeah, I guess so. But like probably just articles and short stuff. I'm not trying to write a novel at this point. Probably not. Mm, yeah, I don't think I'd ever want to write a novel. Boop. That's funny. Are you in the Black Prose Club? I thought they had a whole section on monster smut. I don't really read a whole lot of I don't think I've read an erotica yet. and I really don't read fantasy like that, so I don't know what's out there, but I think Black Rose Club did do a section on Monsters Month, so that might be a source of further information and exploration. Getting sexy partners just now, she's so relieved. Yeah, no. It is really sad to read about. And yeah, I don't know. Joy Luck Club, I just remember that scene was so gutting. Also just like how they she described how it felt for her. It wasn't like it hurt or anything. It was just like she almost like I don't know, dissociated. Like the descriptions of it were so like mechanical and like detached and removed. It was like really sad. Regina Renee. Oh my goodness, Regina Renee. I was like, I don't know. Um, in terms of how it was written, it's like it was a little more there's like more euphemisms than I would usually like in something I was reading, but I don't know, that could be somebody's thing. Let me see if I can find the Black Rose Club Monsters Month thing. But I'm I'm gonna feel bad if it turns out I was lying about that. But I'm like very sure because I thought they had a whole like joke about it and they had some like merch they made of it. Oh, speaking of the Black Rose Club, they're doing a panel tomorrow on I think it's reading for pleasure versus views. It's gonna be at 2 p.m. EST. And I saw the last one, which is Unsung Booktubers, and it was interesting. Like it's really nice hearing people talk about stuff like that and in conversation with each other, like people who might not necessarily hang out on their channel. Um, Brit, the book I was just reading, Minion, I was just giving a summary of what had just happened. And basically, there's like a sexual encounter in a shower with some unseen, possibly demonic force. It was either a demon or a ghost. Um, and I just wasn't expecting it. Let me see. I don't want to be giving out false information about Black Prose Club. Let me find it. Okay. I found it. Honestly, Britt, yeah, kinda. Yeah. Um, except like she didn't. I won't give details of it. She didn't even. We haven't really even confirmed what exactly it was, but yes, kind of those vibes. Yeah, I'm primarily primarily a physical book reader, T. That's like my preference. It's just very easy for me to forget about ebooks, and I don't know. I just like having the physical book better. I mean, the pandemic has definitely changed that, and like doing ARC reviews. Um, Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And doing ARC reviews, yeah, because I get a lot of e-arcs, and so that's kind of changed. I'm kind of more used to doing the ebooks now, like from my library and from the arcs. But I am. It's not funny that Erica mentioned it earlier about her eyes hurting, but like I'm also having eye issues. Like, it's gotten better the last couple of days, but, like, my eyes have started, they kinda, like, twinge when I have to focus on things, and these glasses are old, and I'm spending all my time in front of a screen, so that's probably not helping, but I'm gonna get new glasses. I'm gonna get an eye appointment on Monday to see about updating my glasses prescription and, like, stuff like that. I don't know. I think I probably just need to, like, set hard limits on my screen time, even if I feel like I'm, like, working. Cause like, if I'm on Twitter, I'm like, "It's for the channel. I'm researching for the channel." It's like, I'm not. I'm goofing around. From your description, though, it wasn't as enjoyable for this chick as for Yana. I honestly it's different in that, like, when it first started, like, it's different in that this person didn't it's very complicated. Because if I say that this person doesn't ask for it, I mean, I guess it kind of it's just very complicated because when it started, she thought it was just, like, in her head and that she was just, like, having some sort of fantasy, and then she realized that, like, there was some and then she was, like, thinking about it, she's like, the way that she was reacting, she was like, "There's signs that there's, like, some sort of, like, demonic presence behind it." And so it was like she enjoyed it, but she didn't like that she enjoyed it, and she's, like, worried about what that means for, like, the safety of her home if there's, like, some demon on the loose because she's a vampire huntress and a demon huntress. So, yeah, I don't know. It's yet to be seen if she's gonna, like, seek out this demon, um, or, like, if this demon is gonna be romancing her or something, or what it even was. Like, it doesn't sound like this person was, like, a physical, like, invisible thing there. It was, like, something causing these sensations from afar, um, and these, like, desires from afar. So, yeah, it wasn't pleasant for her and that it was, like, basically not asked for, and it was, like, very complicated. Like, it felt like more I think there's a way it felt violating because, like, she's like, "There's someone here who shouldn't be here." And it's also weird because she wants them there. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't necessarily ask for the I thought that she did. I thought that Nahado's thing was that you have to, like, very specifically ask him for that. Like, I thought that she had summoned him there, like, knowing full well what was gonna happen. Well, not, like, every step of the way, but knowing, like, sex was gonna happen if she, like, closed her eyes and said, Nahado, like, "Come here." Yeah, Kiki, it's, like, real compli yeah. Murder probably is better. Um, Probably. So, I'm kinda getting a little sleepy. I was gonna kinda wrap it up. Do people wanna do um, yeah, no, you're right, it is, like, bad for Naruto in that like, I think he wanted to be with Yaina, like, I thought he had told her that, but, like, he is pretty much just, like, whatever people want of him, and so he gets put in these, like, sexual situations he doesn't wanna be in, and a lot of situations in general. T we're talking about, we're comparing the scene that just happened in Minion by L.A. Banks to a scene from 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. Yeah, Britt put it in the, comment section. So, I'm kinda tired, and I don't know if I really wanna read anymore. Wait. Wait. I'm blanking on her name. Gosh. I mean, I know who you're talking about, and her name kind of isn't important at this point. But y yes. Okay. Um, wait, I was asking a yeah, I think the question was gonna be, "Do you wanna do another sprint?" But, like, yeah, it is kinda late, and I'm kinda ready to go to sleep. So, I think I'm gonna end the stream. Um, thanks everybody for coming to celebrate with me and for talking to me about what you're reading. Really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Hope you have an easy day ahead of you tomorrow. Yeah, I'm kind of tired. Like I feel like, oh no, I should stay up because I know for a fact that I'm going to be up till like probably 2, just like dicking around on the internet. But like, I really should try and put myself to sleep like a responsible adult. So, night, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Bye. Have a good weekend. Night, Floor.